Why the first $5,000 changes your brain more than $50,000. Picture this. You open your banking app, and for once, you don't immediately close it out of stress. You see $5,000 sitting there, not earmarked for rent, not already mentally spent, just there. And suddenly, something weird happens. You breathe differently. You think differently. You stop panicking about every single unexpected expense. And here's the thing, if you've ever felt that shift, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't yet, this video is going to explain why that moment matters more than your first $50,000 ever will. My name is Moore, and I spend way too much time thinking about money psychology, savings behavior, and why people stay broke longer than they should. If you're someone who feels like you're constantly one emergency away from financial stress, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Because today, we're breaking down why the first $5,000 rewires your brain in a way that $50,000 honestly doesn't. And yes, the math backs this up. The biggest lie about money. Here's the thing. Most people think money motivation works linearly. Like, I'll feel 10x better at $50,000 than I do at $5,000. But that's not how humans work. In fact, behavioral economists have known for decades that the emotional impact of money decreases as the numbers go up. This is called diminishing marginal utility, and it's the reason your first financial milestone feels life-changing, while later ones feel kind of underwhelming. Why $5,000 is a psychological earthquake. Let's talk reality. According to the Federal Reserve, nearly 40% of Americans can't cover a $400 emergency without borrowing or selling something. So when you hit $5,000 in savings, here's what actually changes. You're no longer fragile. You stop reacting emotionally to small problems. You gain time leverage, the ability to think instead of panic. That's not money. That's mental bandwidth. Here, what most people don't realize. Financial stress consumes the same cognitive resources as sleep deprivation. That means before $5,000, your brain is literally operating at reduced capacity. The math that explains everything. Let's get concrete. If your monthly expenses are $2,500, $5,000 equals 2 months of survival. $50,000 equals 20 months of survival. But emotionally, the jump from 0, right arrow 2 months is massive. The jump from 18, right arrow 20 months, barely noticeable. This is why the first milestone feels powerful and the later ones feel quiet. It's the difference between one problem could ruin me. I have options. Now, you might be thinking, okay, more, but $50,000 obviously matters more long-term. Yes, mathematically, absolutely. Psychologically, not even close. Here's the analogy. Learning to swim. The first time you float without panicking, life-changing. The difference between swimming 30 laps and 35 laps, meh. $5,000 teaches your brain you're not drowning anymore. The behavioral shift nobody talks about. This is where it gets really interesting. Once people hit $5,000, their behavior changes in 3 key ways. 1, they stop making desperate decisions. No more high-interest loans, no panic credit card swipes. 2, they start thinking longer term. Investing finally feels safe instead of reckless. 3, they trust themselves more. Confidence compounds faster than money. And that confidence, that's what eventually leads to $50,000. Why most people never reach this point? Look, I'll be honest. Most people never reach $5,000 because they chase status money instead of stability money. New car before emergency fund. Vacations before buffers. Flexing before foundations. And then they wonder why money always feels stressful. The first $5,000 isn't about being rich. It's about being harder to break. How to get there faster, actionable steps. Let's make this practical. Here, how people actually reach $5,000 faster than they think. Step 1. Stop calling it savings. Call it stress insurance. That changes behavior instantly. Step 2. Automate $25.50 per paycheck. Small consistency beats motivation every time. Step 3. Use windfalls only for this goal. Tax refunds, bonuses, side hustle spikes. Step 4. No investing until this is done. Yes, even if TikTok says otherwise. The real goal isn't $5,000. Here's the final twist. The first $5,000 doesn't change your life because of the number. It changes your life because it proves something. Backhand index pointing, right? You can delay gratification. Backhand index pointing, right? You can follow through. Backhand index pointing, right? You can build momentum. And once your brain accepts that, the rest becomes inevitable.
Because today, we're breaking down why most Americans never pass these 4 net worth levels and what actually keeps them stuck. The big lie about money. Look, we're taught one main rule growing up. If you just earn more money, everything else works itself out. But that's not what the data shows. According to the Federal Reserve, nearly 1/3 of households earning over $100,000 still live paycheck to paycheck. That should immediately tell you income alone isn't the solution. Here's what most people don't realize. Wealth doesn't grow in a straight line. It grows in levels. And each level has a different enemy. Level 1, Survival Mode, $0 to $10,000 net worth. At this level, money feels fragile. One unexpected expense, a car repair, medical bill, or rent increase, can throw everything off. The Federal Reserve reports that 37% of Americans can't cover a $400 emergency without borrowing. That's not a budgeting problem. That's a stability problem. Psychologically, your brain is in survival mode. When money feels scarce, long-term planning shuts down. You're just trying to make it to the end of the month. Now, you might be thinking, shouldn't I be investing? Not yet. Trying to grow wealth without stability is like trying to sprint on ice. You don't need speed, you need footing. Action step. Build a small emergency fund, $1,000 to $5,000, and eliminate high-interest debt. This level is about control, not growth. Level 2, the stability trap, $10,000 to $100,000 net worth. This is where most Americans get stuck. You're doing fine. You have savings. Maybe a 401k. Bills are covered. But progress feels slow. Here's what most people don't realize. This is where lifestyle creep quietly kills momentum. Every raise gets absorbed. Better apartment. Nicer car. More subscriptions. Let's do simple math. If you invest $1,000 a month at a 7% return, in 10 years about $173,000.